Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. This is actually quite interesting. So, this is the second Super Fun Sunday that I shot today. I did about a 22-minute Gene Colan video, and it ended fast. I was very, very surprised how quick I got through it, and it was like all of a sudden I was out of files, and I was like, "Whoa, what just happened?" So I'm gonna upload that to Patreon as a Patreon exclusive, and we're gonna do Frank Cho. I had multiple different artists that I was considering doing today. Trad Moore was in the lead, and at the last minute, I decided to do Frank Cho for a few different reasons. But one, I've actually found his Instagram quite interesting over the last like month or two, as he uploads things and he's been rearranging his office and doing different things. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see someone that, one, draws at such a high level as Frank does, two, is quite prolific, and three, just really kind of shows a very interesting insight into his whole process and just kind of the world of Frank Cho. It actually is quite fascinating, and I find it inspiring. Whenever you see someone who's been doing it for a long time, draws well, has produced a lot of work, it's hard not to have a lot of respect for that. And so I really respect where this guy is going, and I'm excited to see where he continues to go. So yeah, let's get into this. I think I'm gonna try to do this really fast, because I want to see if, yeah. So he was rearranging his office, and oh, what Super Fun Sunday is going to be super fun. All right, what is this? So he was showing some magazines. What would you call it? Like, I'll have links to his Instagram and social media and all that, and you'll be able to check all this stuff out and read his original post. But he was organizing his office recently, and was very, very cool to see. The art was what I was the most fascinated with, but it's got a nice scanner. Looks similar to mine, except mine doesn't have a black top. So, magazines, fun stuff. I love seeing photos of artists' workspaces. I always find it very, very cool and interesting. We'll go into full screen. It's got a couple of Macs. I have this, or something similar. I have a 26-inch Cintiq. This is funny, is it? No, he has an Epson. Oh, that's maybe that's a scanner. I'm curious. He must have a printer too. Um, and he has a wallet and keys. That's crazy. I have that too. Why does his plug not have 50,000 things in it? See, this would not exist at my house. I would have like it would have a bar and 50,000 other things. It'd be a big mess. All this. Again, this isn't really the focus of the video, but I wanted to show this. So this is unfinished drawings, and I think he said rejected. Either unfinished drawings or rejected pieces that, like you maybe would do a sketch and they would go, oh, that's kind of what we're thinking. But anyway, man, I'll tell you what, that's very, very cool. Just in general, I would love to flip through that stack of art and see all the magic that's in it. But he did start to show some of the stuff that was in it, so it is quite interesting. Again, he's I really find him fun to follow on Instagram. It's one of the more interesting accounts that I follow for comic book artists, at least. So let's go into full screen mode, and we'll continue our thing just in any order that it sort of rolls out. Yeah, man. Let's can we rotate it? Yeah. For whatever reason, these Instagram files don't like to behave like normal files. And so we got this beautiful Wonder Woman piece. She's quite buxom. That might be problematic these days, correct? I don't know. Frank doesn't seem to care. I like that about him too. He's a rebel. This tail is really cool. I'm digging the way that he's got it all wrapping around. It looks very, very cool. These are nice. Look at that craziness. Buttery smooth. What is this? Is this ballpoint or is this micron? I think he does a lot of ballpoint. Yeah, that's pretty wild. This is cool. I actually have a really good art gallery book. This is great, man. Damn. God, that is such a cool original. Colors are obviously digital, but um, boy, in black and white. Well, I'm sure he's shared a black and white version of it, but this is really good. Damn. It's interesting too. I had mentioned this before, but so eye level is right here. But if you actually look at Harlequin's shoes, we are actually seeing the top of them. Top of them. He kept. I think was her name Punchline. She's more of a side view the whole way, but this is actually. It's almost a shame that he didn't put Punchline's feet kind of at the same angle as Harley's, meaning that they would be down and you would see a little bit of the top plane of them. Because kind of tweaked the perspective there. It doesn't. It's not noticeable, but when I point this stuff out to people, I like to show examples of it. But he clearly on Harley, actually really did true eye level where you're seeing things in perspective, and this is kind of more of a comic interpretation of perspective. This is great. It's interesting too, is I haven't had a chance to look at Frazetta lately, but I've definitely been sort of ramping up to dive into some Frank. I think it'll be fun just to check out his work because I haven't seen it in a little bit, and stuff like this always you kind of go, oh man, this is cool, and I should get a Frank Frazetta fix too. And he's using a click pencil here. It's John Romita Jr. was talking about that he uses something similar to this. This is a zero point 0.7 it looks to be. John Romita Jr. I was saying that I think he uses an zero point 0.5. I use an zero point 0.2, so there you go. But I also use drafting pencils, mainly that. But yeah, the click pencil that I have is Oren's Nero Japanese Pentel 0.2 mechanical pencil. It's fancy schmancy. This is really cool. I don't think I've ever drawn a dinosaur. I don't think I've ever drawn a gorilla either, actually. Ugh. If I think about it, I don't think so. I don't remember ever drawing either. I've drawn monsters that have a little bit of dinosaur type craniums, but oh, this is cool. I didn't even notice her. Dang. King Kong action. I didn't realize it was Kong. Oh, I should have clued in on the T-Rex. I was thinking that they were something. I just like whatever, just a generic comic book dinosaur. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Damn, that thing is big. This is a painting he's been working on as part-time. He's actually quite modest too, and he talks about sort of struggling with things and different things. He really humanizes sort of the artistic lifestyle. You see what I'm talking about here? You can really see, even in this and the grayscale version of it, the difference of their feet. But in theory, they would be standing on the same plane, so it would match up. Man, that's so kick-ass. It looks to be fairly thick board, but not ridiculously thick. I'm sure people ask him ad nauseum what board he uses, so you could definitely figure that out. It's probably Crescent, like illustration board, but it doesn't look to be ridiculously thick. But definitely, you probably couldn't lightbox through this stuff. I don't think. Maybe. Oh, that's cool. Really fascinating how loose his line is when he's blocking things in. You can see the refinement lines, but man, that is really cool. I love stuff like this. It's interesting. So what do you guys think? Do you think that is art lately it's more textural and rough? Don't you think that seems to be sort of the motion of things? Although Frank's finish work is actually quite tight and refined, to be clear. But you know, we're seeing more and more of the grit. This is cool stuff. some of his books. Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to say about Frank. He would be a great artist to do an artist edition of, even if it just collected his personal works. I mean, he could do it on his own. I mean, he's got a big enough following where if he did a crowd-funded, like, coffee table-sized book, well, you saw how big that piece was. Imagine a hardcover, 140-page book of pieces like that, and even maybe some behind the scenes would be neat too. Boy, that thing would do gangbusters. This is nice. But this is what I'm talking about. Frank had, I think, close to 1,500 posts on his Instagram. It was like 1,476, if I remember correctly, give or take a post. Oh, you know what? That might have been the amount of files, image files. But dude, that's so much drawing, and especially at this level. Look at the feet and the legs here. One thing that's interesting too is because he doesn't draw as many brutes as he does babes. The way that you kind of handle anatomy on like girls, it's much smoother and stuff like that. But like if you looked at Bisley and Bisley was drawing even his women, like he would have these muscles cut and ripped and defined and subdivided and all sorts of striations and stuff like that. It's very, very interesting. But you can see Frank, he's putting in more on Red Sonja. This is very nice too. Trippy piece. Vampirella and Red Sonja. This could almost be a statue. if it's not already, because it looks a little bit like the Red Sonja statues that Sideshow was doing. Man, if Prime 1 got a hold of them. Oh man, this is nice, dude. Keeps their legs very, very, very beefy. Not overly beefy, but those are like thick ankles and stuff like that. I mean, these are like Adam Hughes would kind of draw women like that too, where it's like they're not as tapered at the joints. That's a nice page. He keeps his pages very simple, which I actually do kind of like, but it is funny because he's known for the crazy detail, but if you look at his comic book pages, a lot of times they are quite sparse. It's nice. Again, very realistic like leg, and that ankle is quite broad. That's his aesthetic. Oh man, look at that. Ooh, that is cool. Damn. Love all this extra stuff. What is going on? Wow. So I'm tripping. This must be literally like they're gonna paste up word balloons over this, because there's no way he would write in ink on the pages. I don't think. These look done. These don't look like thumbnails. You know what I mean? Like this looks finished to me, and then this could all be erased, but as far as I can tell, that's an ink pen. So they must place word balloons over these. It's interesting. Process, right? Isn't that what Finch's channel has? The videos? Process. I was the first guest on it. Oh, it's nice. Oh, okay. That's a really interesting piece. It's like, I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of. There's like another drawing I've seen or something. I mean, there's probably many, but yeah, that's wild. Oh, that's cool. That's the piece. Damn. This guy's so good. And look, he's inking it with a micron. That's nuts. Because you would assume Frank Cho, you think vintage art, and you think that he's using all sorts of Renaissance. Oh, it's kind of like a Jim Lee pose or whatever. Like, yeah, you would assume that he uses brushes and quills and stuff that like vintage things. But look, there it is. I don't think. I mean, he may actually do it all with the 08. I would assume that he sometimes probably teeters into at least an 03. From what I remember years ago, Mignola would ink most of his stuff with a micron, and he was using either an 03 or an 05. But a dry one will get pretty fine lines. In fact, also the depending on your paper, it'll affect it. Man, the shot on this dinosaur's head is great, or whatever this is, mini dragon. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, he draws so good. Man, this is excellent. Wow. It's funny because it's I'm not seeing as much Copic art these days as we used to. It, it was very popular for a while, but yeah, it seems like it's it's becoming dated, right? No, I don't know. It is interesting how stuff, and then if enough time goes by. Oh, it's interesting. Brandon Peterson collaborated on this. I don't know what the different parts are. I mean, maybe he colored it. But yeah, it is interesting. And then some techniques don't age well, where you go back and look, and it'll feel very from a time period. We'll see. This is great. Man, so cool. Damn. The red ink looks nice. Oh boy, that would take a long time. Harley. Man, she's got beefy legs. Oh, the dog. Right? Oh, it's a sexy dog. Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to see this. So he's probably using a. So here's an O2 micron. The red could be actually red micron pen. Wouldn't surprise me because they do have red microns. So yeah, he just inked over this pencil stuff. He may have lightened it a little bit, meaning like erase this before you go in and ink it, so there's as little pencil as possible under the red. Because going back over the red with an eraser could kind of tear it up. This is a study. Crazy. And there's his ballpoint pen that he uses. You can get those pens anywhere. And here's his pencils, the 07 Pentel. I love Pentel pencils. As a kid, I would always draw with a 05. I loved it. Oh my god, so great. Man, there's so much detail in these sketch lines, like the finding lines, the searching lines. It's really cool. Man, he just nailed this. So awesome. I think hopefully we have it. I think there's some photos of his drafting table. It's kind of interesting. It's always fun to see the angle that people draw at, because it definitely helps you to have your, if you're penciling, to have your table lifted quite a bit, so that you can kind of look at it like a painting in front of you and make sure that there's no distortion with having it kind of flat. Because we work big enough where you can lose sight of the drawing a little bit. This is all very cool. Lots of pictures of this guy. He knew this was going to be an important piece. Oh man, look at that. Damn. This is what happens, friends, when you do comics right. You have room to do things like this because you're earning a good living and you can afford to treat yourself to a master operation. If anyone saw the photos that Adam Hughes posted of his home studio, it is absolutely stunning. It's probably the most beautiful room I've ever seen for a comic book artist. It's that impressive. You can find it on Twitter and maybe on his Instagram, but it's ridiculous. It's so cool. Oh my god. It's a nice cover. But yeah, hopefully this inspires you to pick up the pencil and start moving it around and drawing. You know, keep on it, and you'll do great things. You just have to stick to it. It's the most important thing. Is just keep drawing and keep working on it, and over a period of months, you'll get better and better. And if you really stick with it for a long time, you'll become quite good at it. It's just the way that it goes. So, you know, you really have to focus. I sometimes see people online that they want it all right away, which is understandable, but you have to be willing to work for it. You can't have 3 drawings on your Instagram and then wonder why you don't draw well, because I do see that sometimes too, where it's like they don't look like they're putting in much effort. You know, it's work, but it should be fun work. You know what I mean? You should just enjoy drawing. It's cool. My dad took me to see this movie when I was a little kid, and it scared the shit out of me. It was so creepy. The original Nosferatu. The one I saw was not in English too. It was like some little arty farty movie theater. You know, what do they call it? I can't think what they're called. Art house theater, something like that. Oh, that's cool. His feet. His shoes are nondescript. Wow. Wow. Damn. His Superman's cool. It reminds me a little of Gary Frank, a little of maybe like something Alan Davis would do, or Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. It's cool, man. Iconic. That's trippy. It was like a dinosaur at the volleyball game. People that know the story are like, God, he's so dumb. He doesn't know anything. If you look, this eye is a little higher than this one. Just the tiniest bit. You see that? It's just lift a little bit. It works though. But yeah. Her head is a little turned, but it's... Oh man, look at that. His nice handwriting. This guy's got it all. It's a cool hand. It's actually quite gnarly. Uh-oh. Spider Pig, what has he done? This is nice. Oh, really cool kneecaps, actually. This is all real good. This anatomy is pretty badass. It's popping. This is great, too, this knee. I like how I put that indent here, and you can really feel the bones. Man, that's cool. Art is so fun, man. What do we say? The more you put into it, what do you get? The more you get out. Egg beater. I'm sure when Frank was a teenager, he probably had to work real hard on his art. And then in his 20s, he was doing his Liberty Meadows and drawing in college. You know what I mean? It's a long time coming. This guy's been drawing for probably 35, maybe close to 40 years. I would say at least 35. You know? So just remember that when you see the end result of what he's doing in 2021. There's many, many years and thousands of drawings and learning experience that this guy's accumulated along the way to be able to do this. Simple or detailed, whatever it is, but you know. That's funny. He really he actually gives them quite thick legs. It's interesting. These look even thicker than the stuff that I'm used to. I'm used to the real like more solid leg, but this is even a tiny bit heavier. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. This is a fairly small drawing for him, all things considered. I mean, this looks like I don't know, 8.5 by 11 ish. It's probably, I mean, it's clearly a cropped photo, so the piece could be bigger actually. Oh, you know what? It's interesting. It looks like an early version of that other piece. This is very similar to the other one. Wow, that's crazy how loose it is. The only thing that they missed on that is 9 by 12. It's not what we want anymore. We want 16 by 24. Page count is good though. I like that. Bigger, Frank. Bigger. This is cute. I like the face. Pumpkin. Yeah, it's really cute. Really nice. Wow, that's cool. Damn. Is this just like a fun piece? I guess it could be some sort of commission or just personal piece. I'm kind of under the impression I had heard a while ago that he doesn't sell art or something like that, so I don't know. Or rarely sells art. This is great, man. What's interesting is in the Gene Colan video, if you're on my Patreon, you'll be able to see it. I have over 300 patrons, so believe me, a lot of the people that watch my videos actually are patrons. I talk about Neil Adams. Man, Neil Adams is like the master of guys like laying on the ground in any position, foreshortening the head and the body and stuff like that. He's so good at it. And it's like in his comics, there's lots of people splayed out in different poses. This is cool. Nice face. She looks very determined. The hair is cool. Oh, man. I'm not 100% sure what the circumstances of this piece is. It could be a commission. Someone might have had like a prelim that Wrightson had started, and they asked Frank to do a new drawing of it. I'm not 100% sure. You'll have to check on his Instagram for the details on this one, but that could be the case. Is that this was this looks a bit more like Wrightson, and then this looks a little bit more like Frank Cho. So. Oh yeah, this is one of those pieces that we were looking at before the lettering went on it. It's fascinating that he goes in and puts because he knows where the lettering, he's leaving room clearly for the lettering. Like, he's very aware of where he wants it, which is cool. Again, it's a good takeaway. This is great, man. Man, it's really, really cool. One of the things that I learned from, so it looks to me like this is the finished Wrightson piece. This is a uncompleted Wrightson, and then he's doing some sort of recreation. That's my speculation, because I've seen pieces. In fact, I had someone hit me up about a commission to do something similar to a piece, but that's definitely just a printout of what they had. But you could see this was the pose is a little bit different than the one that he ended up finishing. Well, I'm curious if Frank ever finished this. I'll tell you what, I bet he charged an arm and a leg to do this. Unless he's just doing it for fun. This crab scorpion creature or whatever, so I guess it's scorpion. It's very cool. I haven't been on Instagram much, or I would know more of the backstory of some of the pieces, but I've been focused on work, and so I thought this is funny. But yeah, I'll definitely revisit his page and kind of check it out for myself, because I'm kind of curious. This is nice. Ursula. It's funny because this actually is very similar to Tim Burton in Corpse Bride. Had a character that had a face very similar. I'm sure it was. I mean, Tim Burton worked at Disney, but I never noticed the similarity between her, Ursula, and some of the Corpse Bride designs. But it was kind of what I was saying in one of the videos about when you sit and you're exploring and not drawing but designing things. Generally, stuff that's cool looking many people have tapped into those same shapes because they just look good, and the things that don't work, we tend to eliminate. So when you start coming up with original drawing designs, meaning exploring and just making up things, if they look cool, fortunately, generally they look cool to many other people before you. So you always run the risk of it looking similar, but it's not a huge deal. It's just the way that it goes. So he does have an 005. I was curious if he uses thinner ones, and this is the brush pen, I believe. Um, the red little logo on it, I think, is from the brush pen. I actually like the Micron brush pen. It doesn't last very long, but it actually is very cool for dry brush effects and things like that. But it doesn't keep an accurate tip very long. This is really good. Damn. Wow, that's really good drawing. Crazy. Wow. What a cool piece. That's crazy. There's his ballpoint pen. Alright, we're going to start wrapping this up because I need to get to work. But that was really fun. Really interesting. And you can see this and more on his Instagram. And boy, I'll tell you what, it is just loaded with like cool stuff. Oh, it's cool. In my area, we've had a lot of great white shark sightings and stuff lately. Or over the last like year or two. There's more and more great white sharks. It's kind of crazy. They're out there. Some Copic. I think. Could be washed, but man, that is a powerful Savage Dragon behind that. This is cool. 3 of 3,000. It's got his. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the one drawing that we saw was this, but there was another one that was similar that it was a little bit of a different layout. I think there was more dinosaurs in it, but oh, it's really cool. And this is his cat girl. It's like if you're a fan of Frazetta and you ever do a painting, at some point you've got to do some sort of homage to cat girl. I think it's like a rule. I've always wanted to play with Death Dealer too a little bit. And try some Death Dealer's pieces. Actually, it's funny. Hadn't really thought about it in a long time. It's because Heavy Metal has the Frazetta license now, so they're going to be doing a lot with some of the Frazetta stuff. I don't know how it actually works, but I know that they're producing some things for the Frazetta girls right now, or will be. So this should be cool. I don't really know any of the details of it, to be honest, but I know I've seen some ads online for it. Oh, that's really cool. Damn, that Colossus is great. Jeez Louise. It's interesting because I think I wasn't really paying close attention, but I think this is the prelim to that cover, the 3 and 3,000 one that we saw. I really like this better. I don't know, the colors seem to sort of take me out of the moment, but man, that is powerful shit. God dang. That's such a great drawing. Wow. Ben's like, Jesus, jeez. That's nice. There we go. That's like old school Catwoman. I'm actually amazed that the Catwoman costume has stayed the same for as long as it has, or seems to. The goggles on the head. I didn't really think that was going to stick around, to be honest. I'm nearly sure Jim designed that. I just when I saw it, I was like, I don't know. That's cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that piece. He's got a little Hobbitville. Look at this cool old dresser. This is trippy. Like, where is this in his office? Smeagol. He's like all fancy. Oh, it's really cool. Oh man, I have Sauron. There we go. That is a big arm. That's like one of my favorite muscles in the arm. I need to learn its name. I'm just gonna call it Rich's favorite for right now. Alright. Oh, that's cool too. Uh-oh, what happened to the dog? It got knocked out. I like you as a friend. It's interesting seeing this old costume now. I was never a huge fan of this costume though either, to be honest. I don't know what is the best. What's the best Catwoman costume? What do you think? There we go. Oh, okay, that's the Catgirl. It's funny. I didn't really see all this stuff in here. Is he chewing on a bone? What's he got? Kitty, no. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. That's really interesting. Just got to spend the same amount of time that you render those black and white pieces. Well, this is really inspiring. How fun. Well, thank you, Frank Cho, for your amazing work and commitment to comic art and illustration art. You've got a fan. Maybe many here. And for people that haven't really dove into Frank's work, hopefully you follow him on social media and get on board the Frank Cho train. Whoa, damn. I'm not 100% sure that's accurate. I would think it would be a big hole, right? Like, if you cut off a shark's head, would it be like that? Let's go to the beach and do it real fast. I picture it would be open. Oh man, it's cool. This is a crazy story. Boy, it's got all kinds of crazy monsters or whatever. Animals. I like his toenails. Oh, that's really cool. Boy, he draws this stuff great. This is nice too. This almost has a little bit of a Lanil Yu vibe. Like when Lanil does drawings like that, it has that a little bit of that. This is cool. This is really great. Man, he's really good at the upshot of these reptiles. That's nice too. Damn. 2020. Look, March 2020. It was worth dating it just because it was such a weird thing, because he generally doesn't put a date. 2020. It's pretty cool. Oh man, that is nice. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy good. Damn. Well, I don't know about you, but this got me inspired to draw. He's 1,000 times better than I am, but nevertheless, it gives you a life goal. You know, you're like, man, maybe 10 years from now I could do shit like this. But for right now, I just have to be happy with where I'm at. He's teasing you all with this 08. I know he's using it, but I'm sure he switches it up a little bit for some of the smaller detail. Unless it's a very, very dry pen or that paper is very coarse. So here's his pen. You can really see it here. So round stick, 74%. At least that's the one he's showing you right here. It could be the only one that he uses of it. That's a really nice. A friend of mine has one of these dogs. His name is Colonel Mustard. I'll let you connect the dots for the jokes. He is really cute. Ah, it's really cool. Man, the arms on Colossus are just so beefy, and the hands are cool too. This is all very, very cool. I've never drawn the Thing. I have drawn Colossus one time at a convention. It wasn't very good. It was a long time ago, but yeah, I've never drawn the Thing either. Got to get on this. There's a lot of firsts. Have you drawn the Thing? Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is the piece. But he really tightens it up. It's interesting that he chose to do a little bit of wash on him. He wants to see that value. It's really cool. Invisible Girl looks pretty neat. The seeing through the board. Oh man, it's crazy. Tough pose too, boy. I think her boobs would be falling down though, right? There's no way. Your breasts wouldn't stay up like that. Especially if they were that size. They'd be hanging down here, but we'll give them artistic liberties. Unless they're being held by her thighs. I'll need to hire a model and we'll experiment in the backyard and see what happens. Wow, is this where he lives? I wouldn't have pictured outside his window looking like that. That looks like a rough part of town. What is going on, Frank? Where do you live? Hell's Kitchen? What is that? Dude, there's even one of those things. There's the Batman water tower. What is this? Okay, I'm like completely tripping out. Is he... What in the world? I'm gonna have to go to Instagram and find out what the background is on this this photo. That is weird. Is this Hell's Kitchen? Someone will know. What is this place? I pictured he lives in like a nice neighborhood where there's like flowers and green stuff and everyone's happy. Not where Daredevil and the Punisher fight crime. That's really cool too. Someone gave me a heads up though on ballpoint pen and like it doesn't age well or something. Let me know. Is there a risk of doing all these beautiful ballpoint pen drawings? Like what happens with the ink? Does it do something? So I remember I had asked about that and someone was like, "Oh, don't use ballpoint pen," because I was saying that I like the look for you know, like if you were going to render sometimes on comic book pages, I actually think it could look kind of badass. But they scared me away from it. They said, "No, Rich, don't." I think we're getting towards the end. This is fun. I really enjoyed this. There's so much more. I only opened, man, such a small amount of what he had on his site. Really nice colors on this, actually. It's quite, man, it's really, really, really cool. Wow. Man, that is so kick-ass. Really interesting. Oh, yeah, there we go. Well, this was inspiring and kind of humbling. It's like, sometimes when you see a lot of good stuff like this, it's you kind of go, oh, man. So this was a Lady Death cover that I think that he recently posted that was rejected for some reason. Oh, they didn't want any nudity on it or something like that. So he busted it back out. Maybe he's gonna finish it, which why not? I mean, it's cool. It definitely will be appealing to his fan base, so that's really all that matters, unless he has other more pressing things. Okay, we're definitely getting towards the end. This is like in the last three, I think. Oh, it's cool. Wow. Dude, come on. Like, seriously? It's like Cthulhu and Alien. And something else. That's really, really cool. Yeah, that's great. It's got like almost like a seashell type head. Oh, this is a little more of his office. So there's some of the art. Yeah, but I guess he lives in the city. I don't know. I always pictured that like he lived in like a house, but maybe it's like an apartment or something like that. Pretty interesting. But yeah, he's got the flat files. Oh, all kinds of good stuff. J. Scott Campbell's actually got a really nice office too. All right, so that was Super Fun Sunday. I think that was fun. And again, if you want to see about a 20-minute Gene Colan video, I'm going to toss that up on Patreon for now, and I'll decide what to do with it later. But it just ended up being very, very short. So I was like, that wasn't super fun enough. So, all right, you all have a great week. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be back Wednesday for the live show. We'll see. I'm really trying to get a lot of work done this week. So I may forego YouTube for a few days just to get the most pressing thing, which is Blaster Kid into your hands and launch the campaign. So, all right, I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye.